Save 8% off your order at TrueTechTools.com by using the Shop Talk discount code. All right. Well, welcome back to HVAC Shop Talk, and we're in our prime time tonight. We are prime time, which is where we're going to live for a while, I think. I think we're going to live in the prime time. For those of you who listen to this shindig as a podcast, this is about 9:04 p.m., and we are at Monday the 18th of whatever month this is, April. We got a lot of people out there tonight. Let's see if I can turn the chat box on. Yeah, there we go. We got people eating pulled pork tacos. We got Frylock needs to go to the bathroom. You know, it's not good when the guy who might call into the show has to use the restroom as soon as the show starts. So it's either a real problem intestine-wise, or it's he's trying to get out of the show already. It just happened at the beginning, okay? We got T-Lec. We got HVAC Tactical with the cool shirts. The best HVAC shirts. Now, I don't know how many HVAC shirts are on the market in general. There's either the HVAC Tactical one because his logo is just cool. It's very modern, very angular. I really like the logo. And the only other option is like the shirts that have like the old Big Johnson t-shirts where they have like some kind of saying on the back that makes technicians look really good. Like the wife is bragging about the husband or something. I forget what they say, but it's just that's what the shirts do. But hey, they're really nice. They're really nice. Don Gillis is here. We have, what's up, Don? We have Everything HVACR. We have Adam Heichi. We have Bimco. Let's see who else. We have Alexander all the way from Puerto Rico. The internet wire is extra long there, so the latency's real bad. So thank you, Alexander, for joining up here. I can't remember. We said Kuiper. Kuiper's here. I haven't seen Kuiper in a while. Let's see who else we have. HVAC Explorations. I never even heard of you, man. Welcome to the show here. Let's see, who else? Who else do we got? I think that's everybody. Kuiper's got his robot arms out there. I'm not sure what that's, not Kuiper, but Adam has his robot arm. Sorry about that. It's hard to tell. The chat's really thumping tonight. So, you know what? I've been doing some streaming earlier in the day. And the problem with streaming earlier in the day is that everybody is working, including me. Sometimes I have to go to work as well, whether it be in the field or, you know, I'm just kidding. You know, I just sit around here all day waiting to stream. But no, I've been doing field work, and it seems like the night is going to be where it's really going to be at least for the next week or two, and maybe even past that. We'll see. And a lot of the guests, I find that the guests are available at night. Sometimes they're available during the day, but it's easier to do at night. So we have to balance who's tired with who's available. So we get the people that fit into both the categories. We get tired people that are available, at least. So that's pretty good. So I'm pretty happy about that. Guys, I hope you're all doing good tonight. I'm having a good time here. It's our first show of the week. We wrapped up last week on Thursday. I took Friday off. I forget, something was going on Friday or something. I think I might have been doing that job on Friday or Saturday, one of those days. And what I did was I'm going out to this house just to kind of lay the framework here for some of our conversation. I'm going out to this house and actually released the video on YouTube a few hours ago. It's part of a larger job. But I'm taking the units that were on this house that got moved because the state of North Carolina is building a highway that is a bypass for a little town called Hampstead, which is near the coast. Now, Hampstead by itself is a small town, but it is really close to Wilmington, which has about 250,000 people in its metro area, and evidently every single person, judging from the past, drives down this road, Highway 17, to get to Wilmington. Because there's not a whole lot of different ways you can traverse Wilmington or get to Wilmington. So this road is always it's chock full of people all the time, all day long. It super sucks to drive down this road. So they're building this bypass, so all these houses that are in the way either are being knocked down or someone's buying them and moving them. So my brother-in-law buys one of these houses and is moving. It's a big old house too. It's like 3,000 square feet, it's 2 stories. It's quite ambitious for his first venture. And he moves this house, and we take the old units off of it, and you guys would love this. These old birds, these 13-year-old units get disconnected. Yeah, they're trained, so we know they're going to run forever because all the trains run forever. Disconnect them. We move the condensers and air handler because one of them's in the attic, so we don't have to move it. It traveled with the house. We moved those off the site. Someone came in and stole the line sets before I could get to that, so that was a shame. And then we transplanted the units over to this house where it moved, which was about a couple miles from where it was before. So we're putting the units back on there. I got new ductwork in the crawl space. It's going to go in. Oh, what fun. And we're going to be putting the things back up there, starting them up. They're R22. So I piped this first one up. I fired it up. And, of course, it's low in refrigerant. I was like, oh, well, okay. Not really sure about the leaking location. It could have been low before. It could have had a leaking Schrader for the last 3 years sitting out there. I'm going to go with the leaking Schrader, guys. I think it was probably a leaky Schrader. Nothing that I need to look for with a leak detector. Nothing I need to look for. So that leaky Schrader, daggone it, it's been leaking refrigerant for years. And unfortunately, R22 costs more than an organ on the black market. I mean, I think you can go to Mexico and buy a liver for cheaper than you can buy R22. So we're going to use a different refrigerant and fill both the units with that different refrigerant. So therefore, like I said in the video, he can tell people it's environmentally friendly or whatever he wants to tell them. You know how real estate agents are. When they say something's up and coming, it means it's the ghetto. And when something's environmentally friendly, they're diverting you from the fact that, it's either explosive or something like that. I don't know. We got, Beaver, you're in the chat, man. What's up, Beaver? I gave you a wrench, too. That's power right there, Beaver. Administer justice to anybody in the chat that's out of line, which is nobody. We're cool. We're cool. And we have the Discord chat open. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, while Beaver's administering justice to anyone in the chat, I got to pick a refrigerant for these units, except for I used to read up a lot about these R22 replacements, but the time has kind of passed on that now. It's really to the point where a lot of these units have gone away. They're going away. And I had to find a new refrigerant, and now I can't remember half the stuff that I read about before because, they have about 1 trillion of them that you can choose from. They have the 422B, they got the 422D, they got the 421A, 427A, 438A, and then there's Blue One. That's right. I don't even know if they sell Blue One around here. I haven't looked for Blue One. I know they have MO99, which is 438, and I know they have 421A, 427A, but you got to look really closely because, like, I used 407C before, but you have to add oil or replace the oil for 407C. And when I was doing 407C, I had my oil pump, I had all the POE oil. Well, a lot of that stuff, I have no idea where it's at. So I reckon I'm just going to use a refrigerant that is compatible with the existing mineral oil. So I have to make sure that whatever I choose is compatible. Now, I actually brought some things up here. I was actually going to look at these. You guys can coach me through this because I know you guys have opinions. I see numbers in the chat, some sort of refrigerant down there. We got the TDX20. That is the, okay, everything says boo 438A. All right, the only time I used MO99 was about, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And the MO99, it did all right. I was replacing a compressor and a trailer unit. There was not much issue with oil return because it was going about 10 foot and coming back. He didn't have any long line sets, so there wasn't any issues with it. It seemed to work fine. But I don't know. I'm trying to think. I used 422D, and I remember, although it's vague, I didn't really like 422D. And I've learned since then that the B is typically a little bit better than the D. And some of this stuff is coming from my memory in the deep reaches, and I'm not sure why it is I feel that way. I just remember hearing that. And T-Lex says, wonder how TDX20 will do in place of R410A. Just change out the expansion valve and some pressure switches. You know, they had Bite the Bullet use R22. If you buy the R22, I will do it. Otherwise, we're going to be using whatever crap the supply house is a fan of. You know, I think that's what we're going to go with. So, wonder how TDX20 will do in place of 410A. Just change out the expansion valve and some pressure switches. Now, that's kind of interesting because we had some experimentation going on back in the day. Someone was using R134A and an R22 compressor, and the first thing that'll pop into your mind is, hey, that's not the right oil. But it was one of the newer R22 compressors, I think, that had POE stock in the compressor, because as time went by, you got R22 compressors with POE, which I guess is, and Don Gillis is in the chat. I guess these are the CR compressors for R22, which were the reciprocating Copeland compressors. Some of them would have POE oil, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. But there was an issue with like even the physical size of the scrolls. It was an issue because, I don't know, the spatial qualities of the refrigerant itself was different, so it would not pump the same, and it would work somewhat, but it would be inefficient. So that's sort of what happened. Everything HVACR says R438A does lose capacity. Yeah, I think all of them lose a pretty decent amount of capacity. The thing is, I've never tested that. I've never tested a before and after, because at the time when I'm arriving to administer this new refrigerant, the system is not in its best condition. It's either had a massive failure or it needs to be repaired in some way. So it's hard to say that, hey, let me compare before and after. I can get it after, but even afterwards, if you look through the unit statistics, half the time, like a 3-ton unit, it's not like it's giving you 36,000 BTUs exactly. And maybe it's giving you 33,500 in different times a year in different conditions that'll fluctuate back and forth, so you never know. HVAC Rookie, what's up, Scott? And Don says backward compatible. It says T-Lex says if the coil's too big, put a condenser fan controller to adjust the head pressure. See, now we're getting complicated. Now just remember, this is residential. This is residential, so we're going to put in the dumbest controls possible. We're going to have a contactor that basically, if we put it into language, it's going to be like the thermostat goes on. A few minutes later, it gets colder inside. Thermostat goes off. And that's pretty much how the controls are going to work. Everything on, everything off, we're done. Finished. It's over. And that's about what's going to go on here. I just brought up some refrigerants over here. I don't even know what some of this crap is. Opteon. What in the world is this? Opteon XP40? I've stumbled into an area of the internet that I do not recognize, guys. I don't even know what Opteon. Let me go back a little bit here. I was going to just look up retrofit refrigerants, and we'll see what happens here. See, you see Solstice N71 by Honeywell. I've never heard of that before. I don't even know what it's for. We have to know now. Oh, yeah. See, I'm already out of the running here because you can see it says supermarkets, cold storage, warehouses, industrial process refrigeration, ice rinks, and convenience and drugstores. So I'm out on this one. I don't know if you guys have used that one before. I have never used it. Let's see. I want just something. Choosing the right. Oh, here's the government. I tell you what, guys. Let me bring this down for a second. You know what? If the government approves, I know I'm on board with it. You know the government's looking out for people, and that's going to be the way to go right there. Let's see. Choosing the right. What says the government website? But it's Arkema's stuff. Isn't that like a conflict of interest or something? I'm not quite sure here. It might be wrong. I don't want to read any PowerPoints here. This is going to get boring real fast. All right, here's a little chart they have up here. So for R22 replacement refrigerants, we can go with air conditioning, and they have 134A, which your automobiles used 134A. And you have, I think, window units use 134A. And I'm not sure what else did in the AC range. You guys know better than I do. Then you have 407C, and then you have 410A. It's like a whole different unit. I don't know how helpful this is. I don't think this is very helpful at all. I think I should probably just look up the actual refrigerant, say we're talking about at a supply house. I'd probably be better off for that. I'm going to deem that not helpful. And we're going to go, oh yeah, Freon. Let's try this now. Freon. That's what it is, really. It's technically Freon. And let's see, Freon, retrofit. Let's see what we got here. Man, it's going to be another. Oh, yeah. There's the Option XP40. So that's 449A. I was wondering what that was earlier. Good grief. What in the world? Nope. I'm in the dark web again. The heck with this. So what'll end up being is I'm going to go to United Refrigeration and I'm going to ask them what they have, and we're going to choose the best one based on that. And I'll probably Google them at the supply house to get some information on them, because I don't want any oil change issues. I don't want that, because we do have a system that's going to be removed one floor, so it's about 20 foot up, and the line set probably, I don't know, it might even almost qualify for long line set just because of the way they ran it. They ran it the strangest way. I don't know if I included it on the video, but this thing runs like 30 foot across a crawl space, then up in the attic, then back toward where the unit's at. So it's like a big C shape, and it's way longer than it seems like it would have to be. So I don't want any oil return bad boys. So you guys are out there, tell me the worst possible refrigerant to use. That's what I think we should do. What is the worst possible refrigerant? We have people saying, Alexander says, I've used 422D for refrigeration and B for AC. And see, that's what I got into, Alexander. I had used D. They said you could use it for air conditioning, but then along comes, I guess this new 22 is what they call it, the 422B. And they said, actually, this one is the one you should use with air conditioning. And then there's a C, and there's other ones, variation on the same composition, but they say go toward B. Let's see, Don Gillis says, oil return, as you said, is the knock on drop-in refrigerants. See, that's the worry of it. It's like if you have any long line set, all of a sudden you go from, hey, you can use these with mineral oil, to you should probably change the oil. And that's what it's coming down to. Now, I don't want to be changing oil. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's a job here. It's set for, we got to get it done. And so I'm trying to get the best possible solution here. Now, if the only solution was to change the oil, obviously we would change the oil. Pain in the butt that is. But I'm hoping that there's a refrigerant that will suffice for these things. Don says, I've used new 22 a lot in the field, no problem. So, I mean, that might be the way to go. It was interesting because I called the supply house because, as you guys know, I don't do a whole lot of field work. So there's these gaps in between my schedule. And I called a supply house like, all right, I need pricing on this stuff here and this stuff here. And like all the retrofits were like 400 plus. I'm like, these things were all $100, $200, $250 before. And now 407C, which was like $79 the last time I bought it, is over 400. It really is nuts out there. And I don't know if all this stuff is coming from Shanghai, what the issue is, but it feels like it's coming from Shanghai, probably. And it's probably got a bunch of dirt in the bottom of the can. I'm just saying. Ivan Hall says he just hit the like button. Man, it's a great idea. Why don't we all go hit the like button? That sounds like a great idea if you're enjoying yourself. And I'll go ahead and tell you guys, you can pop in here. Let me hit that call button. If you can call in if you want to. The phones are on. I do want to say that we have a Discord server. And Discord is something that I don't understand completely. But it looks like somewhere you can chat with buddies and friends. You can share pictures, and you can call each other and video chat. So if you guys want to join that Discord server, I can invite you. And I can do that right now while we're streaming, actually, if I can find the button. Like I said, I'm new to this stuff, so I'm stupid. And I don't know where all the buttons are. And I know that if I hit this button over here, nope, that ain't it. I don't know. We'll see. But I can invite you to the Discord server. I'll eventually figure it out, and I'll put it on social media. All right, we do have a caller calling in. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Hello, you're on the air with Zach, your host.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Alexander, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Man, what you doing out there in the world today?
Let's see. Not much today, but we had some bad power outages last week, and it zapped some equipment. So I think I finished the round of fixing everything.
So did all the Medeas die?
No, not the mini splits. I'm doing like more commercial refrigeration now.
Well, you got like a different job now.
Yeah, because I don't work for the company anymore. I work on my own.
All right, man. So you want to talk about that, or you want to talk about work stuff? What do you want to talk about?
I mean, anything. I don't mind.
All right, let's hear it. Then what happened? Why'd you go out on your own?
I had like a little disagreement with the person that was my boss. So
A little disagreement.
yeah, he didn't like me doing side job, and he didn't want to pay me more money.
Oh, the
So
old, you talked about this before, how they didn't want to give you the
yeah,
proper pay, but they also didn't want
yeah,
you to
and
work anywhere else.
they cut me off twice when I asked for proper pay, and they're like, no way, we can't do it. So that's good. I leave.
How big was the gap between what you were getting and what you needed to get?
Uh, uh, for here, I was getting underpaid, but what I get now, I get like three times more than what I was getting over there.
You get 3 times more?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. How long have you worked there?
The other company, I was like almost 3 years,
And how long have you been by yourself now?
a year and a half.
Dang man, you've been so we probably talked since you went out on your own then. It must have been
Yeah,
just after you
it's been
went
a
on
while.
your own. Yeah.
Been a while.
Oh man, so is it, it's pretty successful then if you're making 3 times as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I consider like they pay me like contract work, like 1099.
Mhm.
So at that time, it's not that great, but hey,
So are you like subcontracting?
no independent. And here in Puerto Rico, they put it like if you're a contractor. They'll put it like they say professional services for tax reasons.
I gotcha. Okay. All right.
So it's like like you're working like you're 1099 like a contractor.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. I dig it. All right. So you're working on the big stuff now.
No, I work now for equipment broker. They sell used refrigeration equipment. So anything that's refrigeration, I fix it.
Oh, that's
Like
kind of interesting.
restaurant stuff, like restaurant refrigerators, like reaching coolers, reaching freezers, ice machine.
So they refurbish them?
No, they buy them in like a surplus auction, and they bring them to the island, and we sell them,
Oh man, you guys sound like you're rednecks just like I am.
sort of.
Oh man, this is great.
So they'll bring in a week. They can bring 2 containers a week, 3 containers a week. It depends how much you can get from the suppliers.
All right, so this is interesting. Okay, so you're working on these things they're bringing in now.
Mm.
I'm sure when you get stuff in like that, I mean, it's going to have some problems. So is that where you spend your time?
Yeah, well, what they do is when they unload the containers, they look there's he buys working equipment already, or he takes them out of the places that are working. So those I don't work on, but the other ones that they might need work on, they put them on the side, and I work on them.
You know, that kind of sounds fun. Like you have the
It
fun of
is. You
troubleshooting
have
without the
to see, but
pressure.
there's like the OEM part issue that you can't find stuff. So I'm like, it's like MacGyvering everything so it could work.
Oh man, that sounds like
So
a dream job.
it is fun. I get to use my brains.
That does sound like a lot of fun because a lot of what I liked about service is doing stuff just like that. And what I dislike the most is like having to drive around far and interact and go to the supply house and stuff. So that sounds like you
I mean,
chopped
I
out all
go
that
if I
crap.
need some parts. Sometimes I do need them new, but what I do is that some equipment comes in that they're missing parts, or missing a door, or they're missing a part of it. I use those. I scrap them out, and I use the parts from those to fix the other units.
Oh man, I like that. I mean, that's just right up my
So
alley, dude.
like I could scrap out, let's just say one two-door refrigerator. I can scrap out the condensing unit and the thermostat and some of the line sets if it has a line set, and I can use to repair another one if I find one with broken line sets or something.
Okay, moment of truth, Alexander. Are you properly recovering all your refrigerants?
Yes, I have a tank, and I have a machine.
Okay, all right. You sound like you're telling the truth. I mean, because I've seen a lot of
No, I
guys
am
they chop the lines. They
because
got.
of some I do. Sometimes they come with no charge. Most of them come with no charge. They come flat. They come with a broken line set or something. So
Oh man, that sounds fun. So, what kind of refrigerants do you get to work with? We've been talking about refrigerants. What do you see on a daily basis?
like it's refrigeration. There's a lot of 404A.
Yeah,
I've had R22.
yeah.
The
Okay.
older units I've seen. I've gotten older stuff. I think R12. I got a couple of those ones.
Well, that's kind of interesting. So, how old are those units?
They gotta be 20 plus years old because sometimes you can't even see the serial numbers on them.
Oh wow, R12. I've never seen
So
an R12 unit in my whole life.
yeah, R12's like it's been out like discontinued like for 20 plus years. I've only used it like a handful of times.
So, I mean,
You
you
know,
get an R12 unit in. I mean, and you need to service it. Are you recovering the R12 and
Yeah, you
storing it?
recover it, or I'll recover it in a tank, and I'll just dump 134A in it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What'd you do? Are y'all keeping all that R12 and hoarding it for the future?
I don't know. Sometimes it's very little bits. Like I tell you, sometimes they come close to empty, and those R12 ones come empty sometimes. So
Oh yeah. Well, I guess they've been around the block though. I mean, it's not that shocking that they would be empty after sitting for a while somewhere.
so some of them you find what they do is that some of these have service like those king valves, and they would
Mhm.
crack it open and connect the pressure control to it, and sometimes by the valve it would leak.
Yeah.
So you would just like tighten the packing and close the valve. And just what I would do is I punch the line. I take the line. Let's make the small perforation, and I'll solder one of these 1/8 inch of Schrader valves, and I'll hook a pressure switch to that,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
peanut switch, whatever I find.
That sounds like about what I would do right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty cool. Just use an access fitting or something like that.
that's what I do. Just solder one in, just raise one in, and just screw it on there.
I like that. So you have a lot of fun doing that then.
Yeah. So for your R22 dilemma,
Oh yeah.
I've
Okay. Let's
used
hear it. Yeah.
all the ones you mentioned. I've used 422D for refrigeration, medium temp.
Okay.
I did use it AC. It doesn't suck. 422, new 22B, which is the 422B.
Mm-hmm.
I've used that in air conditioning. They say you could use it in refrigeration. I haven't used it yet because most of the units I get are 44A or a substitute. So
Wait, they said you
and
can use 422B for refrigeration?
yeah, medium temp. You can't use it for low temp.
Okay. Now for low temperature and medium temperature, I thought that was where they were sending people like toward C
No.
or D.
Oh no, you can't use. No, you can use for low temp. You can use 407A,
Yeah.
and you can use 422D. But you gotta be careful with the oil return. Because low temp is really tricky with oil return.
Yeah.
So you can use MO99 for low temp.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I've never heard that before.
There was a freezer that I did once with it. Because it was R22 compressor.
So there was freezers using R22.
Yeah, the compressor was R22.
I thought R22 was really crappy at low temperature.
No, you have to use a special. If you go low temp, if you use a Copeland compressor, you got to use demand cooling.
Huh.
Basically, that was just a sensor on the liquid line, and it would inject liquid into the head of the cylinder head for the compressors.
Well, that's what Don is in the chat here, and he knows a lot about this stuff. He says 422D, you need injection. So you guys were saying
They do use it, and with 404, you have to use injection too. But if you're going really, really low, like -25, -30.
Okay, well, why don't you tell me what is the purpose of injection?
Okay, it's basically the cool off because the compression ratios of the gas are too hot. When you're using low temperatures, you have lower pressure, higher pressure. So what it does is that it'll inject the liquid gas into the head to keep the head cool.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like think of a TXV but backwards.
Yeah, I'm sort of imagining what you're saying. So
It's called a desuperheater. They actually call it a desuperheater.
well, that's what I was gonna say. It sounds like desuperheating, and
Yeah,
you have a
that's
compression
what they do
ratio.
they use that in Carlisle. They use that in Carlisles that have R22 low temp and some other R22 substitutes that need injection. But if you're you use injection if you're going really, really low saturated temperatures like after -20, you're gonna have to be using that stuff with the compression ratios and the suction is so low.
Yeah.
So the compressor tends to get hotter. But on a regular, if you're gonna go -10, -15, you won't need it.
Well, that was my concern. When I think of compression ratios for comfort cooling, you get to 4-to-1, and that's getting high, 5-to-1. But you're talking about stuff that's much higher than that.
Yep.
And it's just
I don't
it
know
was
the
burning
numbers.
up
I really
otherwise.
don't know the numbers actually, but they're very high compression, so that's why they use that type of cooling.
Okay.
But that's really for low temp refrigeration. You don't use that in medium. You don't use it in high temp.
All right.
I don't see for using high temp.
Well, I've heard about this stuff before. Even for some of the refrigerants now for comfort cooling, they say they might have to use injection for it, but I'm not sure if it's the same reason, or I don't know what the purpose of it is.
If you're using a 40, if you're using a 40, remember comfort cooling is 40 degrees saturated, 35, 40 degrees saturated.
Right.
So I imagine if you would go under freezing, which is 32, maybe like for some low ambience, but I don't see it in the tropics using it.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do it for low ambient too. Seems like they use fan control for low ambient.
You could use fan controls, but like these blends are so crazy, they got like 20 refrigerants in them, I think, so they won't fractionate or they
Yeah.
have a high glide. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Just like 20 refrigerants. Hey, one of them, I forget what
no,
it was.
well,
Blue
that's
One's got like 5 or 6 of them.
449, the one for R22. The mix got like 7 refrigerants in them. And the funny part is that, at least for 448A, the one that replaces 404A, they got the same 3 refrigerants in 404A. They put R32 in it, and they put the 2 new 1, 2, 3, 4s in it, the mix. So
What,
I
the
don't know why they do that.
HFOs?
The
You talking about the
HF
YZ things? Am I following you correctly here?
Yeah, the opens, yeah, 2 new ones, 1, 2, 3, 4 ZE and 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Y something. They got letters at the end.
Yeah, they're YF or YZ
They all
or
start with 1, 2,
Z.
3, 4.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking
Two of
about.
So I don't know why they do it, but maybe oil return something. I know I gotta ask. That's a question to ask Honeywell why they did that.
Hey, well, you know what is ironic? Honeywell emailed me today, one of their guys, and
Uh-huh.
they said they would like to participate on the podcast, so maybe they can come participate and clear some of this stuff up.
That would be pretty awesome. That would be a question to ask them.
Yeah, maybe they can bring
Why
us
would
some
they use
Focus
it- why
Pro
would they put the-
5000s.
Why would you use the same composition of 404A and put the olefins in it? Maybe oil return or to stabilize it for flammability better.
Well, are these hydrofluoroolefins, are they good at returning oil? I mean, I never heard that before.
Yes, because they're like quasi natural refrigerants.
I know they're real low
So,
GWP.
like R600, R290 would be propane or isobutanane.
And well, you got something like propane, that GWP is almost nothing. I mean, it's just
It's
a few.
very low. So they want new regulations in Europe. They're doing that, but they have to be under 1500.
1500. Well, most of this crap's under 1500 now, not these older ones.
All these new blends are under 1500.
Yeah.
So I think they use the olefins just to bring down the warring potential or something, or displacement or something. There's got to be some chemical way they're using all of it in the mix. But it's a very low percent.
Yeah, it's a very low percent. I know what you're talking about too, because there's one we talked about the other day that did the same thing. This Honeywell
I
Solstice
saw the
one.
Yeah, the Solstice one.
Yeah, it has one of those HFOs, or it is an HFO.
It has both of them.
So it does have both.
All of them. Most of the formulas have both of them. I don't know why.
We're gonna go to the internet too while we're talking. Okay.
I think it has ZE and YF. Oh, ZE and YF. I remember the two of them.
Yeah, I remember that now. ZE,
YF is the one they use in new cars.
Yeah, right. To place, I guess instead of 134A, they upgraded.
And it has almost the same pressures. And it uses like 50% less charge.
I'm gonna tell you what. I hope I can remember this number. Solstice 41 or Solstice 42. We're gonna see if it's right. I feel like yeah, that's right. Okay. So Solstice N41 is 466A. Let me see the properties here. The composition. Oh, the composition for this one. I don't even know what this one is. All right, I'll put it on the screen here. Maybe people can help me out.
32, 125, 1, 2, 3, 4 ZE, and that are YF probably.
Well, they got R13 something 1. I don't even know what that is.
143?
It's not 143. I don't know what this is. It says R13. It's like a different symbol in 1. It must be like a screw up or something on the website.
Okay.
Somebody screwed up here. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
It's always 143. They put 143, 125, 32, all that stuff, good stuff in there.
Well, I got it's one step away from 410A here. I mean, it's got 32 and 125, and then something else, whatever that is.
And what they did was the Solstice, the N40, they put the same 3 refrigerants in 404A, which is 134A, 125, and 143, I think it is.
And that's the one that has all the GWP, because that thing is sky high.
And then it has less than 1500.
They 404A?
1, 2, 3, 4, the YF and the Z.
But the 404A by itself, that's pretty elevated in GWP. Yeah, it's high. Right. I'm trying to see.
Very high.
Hey, it does say that the Solstice N41 is in the category of HFO blends, so one of them things has to be in there. You're right.
Yeah, both of them are in there.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with this. I got to find like the actual
The
data
percentage
sheet.
is like it's very low percentage, but what's pretty weird. Everybody says all the prices are going up, and most of those blends got 134A in it. So I don't know what's the big deal with it going up.
Oh, well, here's the data sheet. Let's see. Oh, maybe that's not right. No, that's not it. Man, I found
What I
sell
did
sheet.
was what helped me out to find out the compositions. I would just like in the Google search R whatever composition, and it will
It's,
tell you like the first. It'll have a paragraph.
I
It'll
tell
tell
you,
you.
it's the smartest thing to do. And here I am looking at stuff, and all I do is find pictures of the stupid refrigerant bottle, which nobody needs. What the world? I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna Google that while we're talking and all.
That's how I Googled it. That's how I found out about the other ones when I Googled it like that.
Yeah.
Because Honeywell does have a page that just explains all of them,
Well, I'm gonna do
but not most of them
MSDS.
are real. Most of them are not even. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of them, but they don't even use them here.
Yeah, some of these things because you have the R number. I try to remember the R number. Then they call it something else, and I have to remember which MO it is. You know, there's like 50 of
These
them.
what they use for Honeywell just uses N. N40, N41, something like that.
Yeah. All right, let's see. 466A. I'm gonna see if I find the right sheet before I share it on the screen here.
Yeah, but I know that I call 448A the magic juice. 'Cause that's what I use to replace 448A and everything.
I like that. The magic
I
juice.
even read you do lose for ice machines. You only lose a 2% capacity,
That's pretty good.
and for I think it was for low temp, I'm close capacity to 44A. I even have lower temperatures and lower pressures.
Oh. Okay.
So
I got this thing on the
anything that's using the
screen.
pressure switch, I might have to adjust it. I might not. I don't know. I haven't run into that one yet, but
Yeah.
at least I'll use 448 expansion valve. I don't have to change the valve. Nothing. It
Well, that's
floods
good.
back a little bit more. Just gotta close the valve a little bit. That's it. That's all I've done. But
A little bit of
besides that,
tweaking is all it requires.
yeah,
Yeah.
just quarter turn.
Well, here's this. 466A is 39.5%. All right. It says CF3I or L. I don't even know what
L.
that is. What
Big
is
L.
that? Do you know what that is?
CF3. I forget. I need them all. I need them all on a list once. Was that came on my state board once, so I had to learn them.
Well,
But
we're gonna Google.
I haven't taken. I've had my license like for what 15 years plus, so I'm a little rusty remembering that now.
I never even heard of that one. I'm googling it right now. Oh no, Alexander, this is trifluoroiodomethane.
Yeah, trifluoro.
I like the first website says
I got.
Beijing.
I probably is like one. Maybe that's the name for 143 or something. I don't know. Or one of those.
I'm looking. I'm gonna find. We're gonna go to
I
Wikipedia.
actually had a chart that started from R11 to like all of them, and it would tell you everything, the percentages and everything. I don't even know where I have that chart. That's probably old. It's probably outdated, but it had every single number that was approved
Yeah,
up to that time.
I don't know what this is. I'm giving up on this right now. I'm never using this refrigerant. I'm gonna make a pledge to you now. I'm never gonna touch the jug. I'm not even gonna go in supply houses and
But
offer
if
this.
you wanna, if you really seriously, if you're thinking about the 22 thing,
Mm-hmm.
20 R422B or MO99. But I think with MO99 you lose up to 50%, and that's in refrigeration. In
Good
research,
grief.
you lose 50%.
That's definitely not comfort cooling.
No, that's not for comfort. It is for in comfort cooling. You're not gonna lose that much.
Yeah, that's
You
what
can
I'm
lose
saying.
10,
Yeah.
but maybe 5 to 10. But it's not good for medium and low temp refrigeration. You lose too much capacity.
Okay.
Because in refrigeration, that's why you oversize equipment like really, really grossly because of that.
Yeah.
With supermarkets and all that other stuff, it's really supposed to be you oversize that 20-30% more, and that's why. If you do a retrofit or you lose capacity, your condenser goes bad or something, or you lose a fan or something, you don't lose capacity that fast.
It makes sense to me, Alexander. All right, Alexander, I'm taking a sponsor break for a second. Hey, you helped out. I'm going to choose B. I'm going to choose B. So
The B?
I think I'm going to choose whatever they have,
I think that for the time I bought, and that was a couple of years ago, it was 200 plus.
Hey, it's way more than that now.
It's probably $400.
It's
now
4 or
or
5
something.
now. But let me go, Alexander. There's another call coming in. I'm going to take it real quick.
No problem.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
No problem. Have a good one.
You're on the air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Listen, you guys talking all that refrigerant crap. You're talking over my head.
Hey, give us a list of topics we could talk about. That's that's much more beaver friendly.
Listen, in Beaver's world, it's 410, 22, and 407C to get someone by. That's the extent of my vocabulary in refrigerant.
That's funny. I saw you calling through. I was like, I wonder what he's going to talk about on this one. And daggone sure ain't going to be hydrofluoroolefins.
Absolutely not.
All right, you know what? When's the last time you put refrigerant into a machine? It's honesty time.
Let's see. It's been a few months.
Oh, that's not too bad. I thought it would be longer than that.
Well, I mean, you run an estimate. It's long refrigerant. They got a leak in evap coil. It's going to be 2 weeks before you can put their unit in. You got to gas them up and get them by, man.
You're being a very good salesman.
So, yeah, I keep some refrigerant in the back of the truck. I keep refrigerant in the back of the truck, smart probes behind the seat, an impact, and some basic hand tools and a meter. That's about it.
Yeah, man, I like it, man. Well, I'm just curious. All right, so you got that 22 unit. They give you some 407C to drop on top of it until the job comes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what the boss is like? This thing's going to be one, it's 2 days from now. You drop whatever the cheapest thing is on top of that.
Listen, yeah. And you know what? Anybody in your comment section that wants to bash me over that, whatever. You live a sad life if you're going to bash me over that.
They're questioning your moral standards. Well, I'm waiting for the delay to be up so we can hear them chime in.
Yeah.
Word
to death about me putting 407C on top of 22 on a unit that's 20 years old and we're going to tear out in 2 weeks. It'll be all right.
What's going to be funny is the line of question. It's like, did you do this? Yes, I did. Is this going to work? Probably be fine. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Is it illegal? I don't want to talk about this.
You just have to strategically use your words. It'll probably be okay. You don't say it's going to be okay. It'll probably be okay.
I'm running for office now. You know what? We allegedly might have used a different refrigerant, but because they made them all gray, it's very difficult to discern what refrigerant we actually installed there.
Listen, I just scratch out the 407C and I write R22 with permanent marker.
I hope you write it like a real sloppy way, like it's obvious, sort of thing.
Man, that's how I roll. No, man, that's not 407C. They messed it up from the printing factory. I had to correct them. That's actually 22. It'll be all right.
Well, those Chinese children can't always level their letters properly. They got to get right back to making iPhones as soon as the shift's over.
That's messed up.
Oh man, the accuracy is staggering, probably.
So, what have you been doing, Zach? I see you uploaded a couple videos. Have you been working on stuff? Did you run your one service call for the 6 months?
I saw your comment, and he was talking to me. I was like, I want to address this comment as soon as I remember, and I just forgot about it. I was like,
it's okay, you've run more service calls than I have in the last 6 months.
Well, no,
I ain't run any.
Hey, you know what? If you gas up a unit on a sales call, I would count that as a service call because you did service-like maneuvers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think if it's for the purpose of seeming as if you are a service tech, I would do that.
Listen, that's super low standards to call that a service call.
I don't know, man. I've seen plenty of people that meets the standard just fine. You're a quality technician. You might even be a comfort advisor.
That's right. Maybe.
I had this whole list of like sales names. I don't think I uploaded them. I grouped them in like 5 different guys. It was like this over the top name, like scientist name for sales, and then it was Black Mold Bobby, who always finds black mold. It's like I had a picture somewhere. I don't think it's in here. I wish it was. I'm gonna scroll down while I'm talking because there's another guy, and I forget. It was funny too. I can't remember. He's not in here, but I'll try to remember next time. Put him on the screen. I like Black Mold Bobby. He's my favorite.
Dude, I've been the only one selling here for the last couple of weeks. Everything's been in my area, so I've been super busy.
Oh, that's good. So you don't have to drive like a couple hours to go to your service calls or your sales calls.
Nah. Farthest I go is like 45 minutes to an hour one way. That's about the farthest
Yeah, it sounds about right.
in my area anyway. I mean, we got a huge service area, but we split it up between 2 guys. So I kind of have the coastline, and he's kind of got inland. So
Well, while you're talking, we fact checked that service call statement you made about being. It turns out it is true. It is 1 per 6 months, so I'm not going to complain about it.
1 per 6 months.
We had it, and that was something like gassing up a unit or something like that. Or I took a panel off and brushed a spider out of the way and counted it as a service call.
You change the dual cap. Super technical.
Oh yeah. I pulled out a dual cap. I tested it. I made a video of it because YouTube doesn't have enough videos about checking a dual run capacitor. So I added one more.
When you turn your meter on, were you surprised that it actually lit up and the battery was still good? It actually gave you a display.
I was expecting a whoa. My old fluke-like meter. I thought it was going to fail on me, but no. All these little Chinese,
Fluke-like.
It's the fluke-like. What was that thing called? Oh God, the Coetes. The Coetes meter.
Oh, that's right.
It's smaller than my hand. The thing is tiny. It's actually all right.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell it ain't really fluke, but it does a lot of stuff, I guess. It's all right. I've been shocked.
Yeah.
I had to do electrical troubleshooting. Did you see the video I released today? You didn't watch it?
I've not watched it. I've seen you release it, but I ain't watched it.
Yeah, well, the electrician screwed the wiring up so severely at this house. It's funny. I'll describe part of it to you because it's just you get a kick out of it. You know, I'm going out to this condenser and I want to start it up, and I check voltage, had a disconnect, and there's no voltage there. So I'll go back to the main panel and, you know, turn all the breakers on that would possibly be routed to this unit, and there's no voltage. So I track this wire and I track it into a junction box, and it was junction just fine because they moved this house and they had the junction to it. And they run right across to the main panel, and the wire just sticking in the panel. It's like coiled up at the bottom, and there's like a random other wire. Get this, it's like a 3 conductor wire, like you'd run to a dryer or something, and it's run to the one that's labeled AC. So I was like, I don't know where this wire goes, because I just flipped this breaker on. So something was hot for a little while. I have no idea where it was. So I had to switch them out. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, you should see, like, so part of my, it's called quality installation checklist. So it's part of our proposal software. So like after you do your 3 options, there's another section where you go in there and you attach pictures. It's like Company Cam or any of those other companies, you know, you attach pictures, you put a description in there so your installers can see it and all that. Well, there's a section for your panel, for your breaker panel. So, you know, it's intended for you to take a picture of it, open and say, hey, this is, you know, here's the condenser breaker, here's the air handler breaker. It's a GE, you know, it's a GE panel. So bring those type of breakers. Almost never do you open up a breaker panel and it's actually labeled correctly. So I'm like, I'm just taking these pictures. I don't know that this is the breakers, but I'm gonna take a picture of these breakers, and it'll be a guessing game when you get here. How about that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know what you mean. You know, the funniest thing is once I sorted this stuff out, the breakers were still reversed, the 2 ACs, because I was going up there and said they have the 3-ton labeled with a 20 amp breaker, and then the 2.5 ton labeled with a 30. It's like, so there was a screw up on multiple levels here. And this is one more that I don't know if you've ever hung one of these stupid above the range microwaves that's vented. You ever hung one before?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you got to get in things, your little template. You drill out your holes. You got the bolts from the top. And I said, "Where's this thing vented to?" I was talking to my brother-in-law. I said, "Because these are vented microwaves. I mean, most of these things are vented either out the top of them or to an actual duct. And you know, you can't get to the top because the cabinet's blocking it." So I said, "It must be vented out somewhere." So we turned the thing on for like the first time it's ever run, I guess. It just blows stuff around the cracks. I was like, I don't think this was done correctly. I said, we're going to have to worry about this one later. Because we have a lot of work to do. It's funny. It reminds me of install when I'd go back and, you know, it'd be time to put that stupid microwave up, and they shifted the kitchen layout, and like half the duct is cut off and half of it falls on the duct. And you have to make it work with the finished wall. Like cut out the wall and run duct sideways or something. It was the worst design ever.
Yeah.
It was just
Speaking of duct, I had a lady yesterday, went out there for an estimate. She's got an old 90s model Goodman split heat pump, leaking evap coil, and you want to see the condenser coil. It's just like, it's just ate up. You can run your finger across it, and it just turns into dust. So, but and I'm like, obviously I want to check everything out, and I need to get up in your attic and look at the ductwork because it doesn't do us a whole lot of good for me to sell you some big fancy piece of equipment if you're not getting the benefits of it. You got crap ductwork. So let me get up in the attic and check that out. So lo and behold, the ductwork's crap, falling apart. People have taped this over the years and taped that over the years. So we start talking about ductwork, and she's like, "No, I don't think I want to do the ductwork right now. We'll probably just do that ourselves." I said, now mind you, we're talking a 70-year-old woman and her husband.
I don't know about that one.
I said, you're going to do that? Super tight attic too, dude. Super tight attic. Yeah, we'll do the ductwork ourselves. No. I said, what do you mean you're going to do it yourself? We'll do it ourselves. I said, do you know how to size ductwork? Well, I'm sure we can figure it out. I said, nah, I don't think we're going to go down this rabbit hole. Either you let me do the ductwork too, or we're not going to do it. How about that?
I like your sales stuff because you should be like, all right, do one pull up. I want to see you can do one pull up, and then I'll know you can do ductwork.
Yeah.
How would you run the temperature up to 150?
She just caught me off guard. 70-year-old woman talking about she's going to get up there and do her own ductwork. Really?
Salesman ain't going to argue. He just wants a job, right? He ain't going to question that. He'd be like, that's kind of strange, but okay. Not you, brother.
I'm not that guy.
No, but you just saved him from a load of crap, performance-wise, for a lifetime of the unit.
Well, yeah, because I mean, how many? Here is okay. We went down this rabbit hole, so let's go down it for a couple minutes. A lot of these guys that come up and become comfort advisors now are, whatever, department guys from Lowe's or whatever. They want used car salesmen. They want the guy to just sell the package, right?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have any technical ability. What good does it do you to go in there and sell somebody a 20-SEER piece of equipment if you put it on crap ductwork that's undersized and falling apart? They're not getting the benefits of what you just sold. But, hey, you sold a 20-SEER. Good for you.
Hey,
see that way too often.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, it's just people trying to get that money. They're gone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, I should take that back because ain't nobody selling the 20-SEER right now. So
got to find it first, right?
You ain't finding it around here.
No.
Not trained anyway.
You're gonna have to get one of them. I don't know. I don't even know what's available out there as far as high efficiency equipment.
Agree Flex.
Agree. I don't even know what that is.
You don't want to know.
Agree Flex, man.
Oh yeah.
I can imagine it's some kind of multi-port beast.
Oh yeah, it's. I think it's flares on both sides. The condenser is side discharge like a mini split. Yeah.
Man, why don't they build these mini split condensers with braze connections for the lines?
I don't know. I wish they would. Actually, I think when you get like a train, what is it, the TWL instead of a TWR condenser? The TWL, I think, is the side discharge one. I think that is braze joints. You know what?
Those, man, I don't even think of those as mini splits, but I guess they kind of are. They're very similar.
Well, I mean, they're kind of designed like one, but what I'm saying is like it's not in the fact that you ain't got a flare. I'm pretty sure it's standard king valves, but I could be wrong.
I'm trying to internet it real quick because I've never looked at Train's one.
I think it's a 4 TWL.
Well, we'll see.
So I would just Google, like, what is it? What's the train model number? 4 TWL 4036. Or to give you something.
Man, that's like the whole model number. I put 4 TWL heat pump, and it brought up some random stuff. Oh, is it Mitsubishi and Train the same thing?
Oh yeah, man, they partners.
Okay, well that's why it's bringing them up. Yeah, it seemed like I did hear something about that. Yep, there they go. That one says Mr. Cool. Okay, well that's not the same.
Same thing.
Yeah,
basically.
They're all the same. You're a big mini split fan. Yeah, this is not the one you're talking about because this one even, it's like an air handler. There ain't no pictures of this thing. I'm losing interest already. He ain't showing me any pictures.
Anyhow, yeah, you ain't getting 20 and 18 SEER stuff with Train. Not the communicating stuff anyway. You can get I think you can still get the XL 18i. That's a 2-stage.
Good enough.
You can still get some of them. So higher SEER and then higher tonnage, 4 and 5 ton stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. Good luck.
Well, there's a lot of that larger stuff down south, unfortunately, and not five. So I don't. Fives are pretty rare, but I do see fours from time to time. Or I did.
Yeah.
I should say did in the past tense. I don't see them anymore unless I visit somebody and look around while I'm at their house,
That's right.
which I don't
That's right.
because I don't go to people's
When's the last time you sold a change out?
Oh my gosh! It's my memory's going. Let's see. Last change out that I sold. Good grief! I don't know.
Couple of years.
It's been a while. It's been before all this price hike crap happened. So it's been at least it's before. Okay, the last one I would have sold would have been just my my sister-in-law's house, and I don't even know if you count that, but it was just a ream split system, RP14.
Rain.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were gonna say Goodman.
No, I sold plenty of good ones. Not that day though, so I haven't heard back from them about any issues because it's the ream.
Yeah.
Not the good one.
I don't know. I think they all got their problems nowadays. So
I'm kind of glad to be out of this particular this section of the HVAC era and kind of not being participating because it seems like it's a huge pain in the butt. Just whenever I price stuff for this duct job, like before the job started was before all this happened, and then now that it's going, all the metal fittings and stuff like that, the flex is just MIA. You got to go to Lowe's and track it down.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, yeah, everything costs just a ton more. It's wild.
Dude, my duct systems cost more than my change outs.
That's crazy. So do you do duct systems like just like sell the duct system and not the equipment?
Sure.
That's nice. Yeah. Old David Richardson did a job on you, didn't he?
Oh yeah. That dude's a guru, man.
He is. I hope he calls in here one night. I have to make sure he's knowing that we're actually doing this.
If nobody's took a system performance class with NCI, they are missing out because he will blow your mind.
Let me ask you. You have these guys install this duct system. I mean, do you ever get to see how it performs on the back end of it?
No, I don't personally get to.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time you have techs that have documented, like say it's a tech flip, so they'll have before and after, like measure quick reports and stuff like that.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
But me personally seeing, before and after, no.
But there is something on a report that's like, okay, look at this. This is better.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
Well, most of the time, like, I'll get a lead from a tech, and he's like, supply's crap, the return's undersized, the return the grill surface area is too small, blah blah blah. And then so you get out there, hey, I'm so and so, I'm here because it's Chad, whatever. And you get up there and you're like, yep, return's undersized. Yep. 14 by 20 return grill. That ain't gonna do it. So it's kind of
14 by 20. It's a tad small. Yeah. She whistles.
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of confirm what the tech has already said, but I don't go to pulling out static pressure probes or nothing like that. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's his job, I guess, anyway. So you can only do one job. Ain't that right?
I just sell the ductwork. I just design it and sell it. That's it.
Hey, if you're going to be involved with ductwork, selling it only is the way to go.
That's right. Absolutely right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get questioned about that too. Like, you sell a duct system, you're like, how many days did you sell it for? As far as like labor days. So how many days did you project? Like, I don't know. If I was an installer, I mean, you start thinking back on your days of installing. Like, well, are they going to start it on a Monday morning? Because if they started on a Monday morning, you can probably figure on them not getting a whole lot done until after lunchtime. Because they're still going to be hungover from the weekend.
Oh, geez.
So, no, I'm just joking.
Hey, it's probably true somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Supply house is late.
That's just with installers. I think that's kind of hard to gauge.
It is
what
tough.
side of the bed did they wake up on today?
Well, yeah, there's the human factor, and then every duct system is different. Some of them are a real pain to get to. So,
oh yeah,
it just depends.
Yeah, and then everybody has that guy that's like, you sell a super, like you said, a super tight attic or something like that. It's going to be a crappy duct system.
Mm-hmm.
He shows up, looks at it, and you got to kind of talk him off the ledge. It's all right, man. It ain't gonna be that bad. Look, just go about it this way. I tear it out from over here. I start putting it together here. Oh yeah. Okay, you're good. Call me if you need anything. And then you pull out the driveway like, better him than me.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's like, yeah, I've done these in the past. Yeah, it'll be just fine. And the guy's up there thinking like, it's like summer. It's July. We ain't gonna be able to work past 2 in this attic. I'm gonna tell you that right now. At 2, we got to come down. You get that sort of thing. And sometimes it's true. I mean, some of the attics are like, they're killer. But I mean, sometimes it's just, I don't want to be up there.
Yeah. Oh, I've did them change outs and them duct systems in the past. I remember doing a change out in Patterson, Georgia, here when I was a grunt, barely knew anything about install. Middle of July, you'd have to get up there in like 5 or 10 minute increments. Otherwise, you'd pass out. I mean, that's how hot the attic was. It was ridiculous. So me and my helper would take turns getting in the attic.
That's killer. That's the worst. I mean, we used to do the same thing. You'd have a set time limit, and you'd rotate. And the other person would go up there for a little while because you'd be like taping behind a return, and it was already just a pain in the butt. You're laying up there, and then you're sweating, and the sweats made your hands wet, and then the tape won't stick. It's just, it can be kind of nightmarish. After 15 minutes, you psychologically need to go down for a couple minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can remember sitting in front of an air handler, holding thermostat wires together, trying to put wire nuts on them, and my hands are so slick from sweat, I can barely do that. And I can remember it being so hot up there that I started getting cold chills. And if you start getting cold chills in a 150-degree attic, it's time to get down.
Yeah.
Immediately.
It's like a heat stroke coming.
Yeah. So, been there, done that. Don't miss those days.
Yeah, I think my brother went through that. He said after he had an issue in the attic, after that, every single time he went up there, it was worse. I mean, he could no longer stay up there at the same temperatures that he used to be able to. Or maybe he was just saying that.
Crazy story to share with you, too. I don't know what made me think of this, but so the other comfort advisor here at the company we work for, his brother-in-law does heat and air down in South Florida. And I guess down there, but maybe at this particular company, I don't know. It's just kind of their routine of things. So they'll take coil cleaner and like a 20-ounce bottle, so like a Mountain Dew bottle or a Dr. Pepper bottle, and they'll put that in their tool bag. So that way when you go up to the attic and they're cleaning the drain, they're going to pour that down the drain. They have everything with them, so they're not having to get up and down from the attic.
Right.
So they put it in a 20-ounce bottle and they put it in their tool bag and they go to the attic. Well, somehow there was some mix-up between him and his helper that was helping him that day. And the helper put coil cleaner in a Mountain Dew bottle.
Are you freaking kidding me?
That still had the label on it. So when the guy come down out of the house, I guess he thought it was his drink. And he drank coil cleaner. It about killed him. He's literally still laid up right now. So just FYI, anybody out there, don't ever make that mistake because it could kill you. Like it burned his whole insides.
What type of coil cleaner was it?
I don't know. I don't know if it was New Bride. I don't know what strength it was. But he said he literally took a swig and realized what it was. Immediately ran over to the yard, gagged himself, made himself throw up, thinking that he'd hurry up and get it out of his system. No, the damage was done. It burned his whole esophagus. It burned his stomach. He was in ICU for weeks. And it's still in the hospital right now. Like organs wanting to shut down, the whole 9 yards. Like they don't know if he's going to make it or not.
Holy crap. That is insane.
Over drinking a swig of coil cleaner.
So he didn't drink like the whole thing. Obviously, he had to be pretty crazy to drink the whole thing.
He took one gulp and realized he had made a mistake, and then went over there and puked and tried to get it up, and it was too late.
Oh my gosh, well, that's horrible.
So, yeah.
Jesus.
So I just thought that was crazy. That Chris was telling me about that the other day, and everything he's went through, and he's still boogered up, laid up in the hospital. I don't know if he's going to pull through or not. They had to put in some type of tube just for him to get nutrients and stuff because he can't eat. All his insides are raw.
It's almost like drinking bleach or something like that.
Yeah. Messed him up.
Hey, which cures coronavirus, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like I heard that somewhere.
Oh my gosh, this stream just got taken down. I just got invited off of YouTube. That's not applying to us anymore. Hopefully, no, it's not true. Everybody.
I mean, all the things they said was conspiracy theory stuff,
Well,
but now it's coming true.
yeah, a lot of them did come true. Hey, what was on that Hunter Biden's laptop after all? That was Hunter Biden's laptop? No. Okay. That's a different show.
You
But
don't
it's
say.
true, though. Yeah. Yup.
Have you seen how China's been with their people? On a separate note, there.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I watched a video on the Glenn Beck show or something, whatever his channel or whatever, and it had the video, which I guess is something that circulated, where these people in Shanghai are just screaming. You can hear them all screaming from like some guy's videotaping like outside in Shanghai.
Dude,
And
they're
people are-
starving.
Yeah, it's like they're going nuts there.
They're starving. They're locked up in their places, and some of them only stocked. Like they were told, what was it? It was on somebody's podcast the other day. He was able to come in. He was originally from Australia.
I saw this. This might have been Glenn Beck too.
No, this was on because I don't watch Glenn Beck. It was what's the Crowder, Stephen Crowder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
He called into their show and was talking about what was going on, but they were like something about they were originally told to get enough food for like I don't even remember what it was, not even a week. It was like a couple days or something like that.
Mhm.
And at the time of that podcast, they had been locked up in their houses for like 2.5 weeks and weren't allowed to leave. So people were like running out of food and starving,
It's nuts.
and they're being forced to go back in their house. Like there's people standing outside, not letting them leave their buildings. Because
Yeah.
he said over there, nobody lives in like a standard residential house. Everybody lives in like condos and apartments, like apartment buildings.
Right, right.
So he said, you can open the door and there's a dude standing outside making sure nobody leaves.
Yeah, there's
you-
like 26 million
You can't
people there.
physically leave.
Yeah, these people are stacked up, like we would say, stacked up like cordwood. There's 26 million people in Shanghai alone, and it's like there's multiple cities in China with like that many people.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like the opposite
And
of
he
reality.
said, and the other thing is like they're saying, oh, well, there's dedicated times for you to be able to be escorted to go get food. And he's like, but what they don't tell you is 99.9% of the shops are closed up because of the government not letting them operate. So you tell me that you'll escort me between 2 and 4 today to go get food. Where are we gonna go get food from? Everybody's closed.
I don't know.
So
There's
it was-
too many forests in Shanghai to look for food.
That's just crazy to me. It just makes me realize how blessed we are here, man. I couldn't imagine.
Hey, well, there's a dude in the chat here. Thomas says, my ex-wife from Shanghai. He says, my ex-wife's from Shanghai, and right now her father ran out of food, and they're not allowing anybody in the buildings to go to stores, and they shut down all the food delivery.
Yeah.
I mean, and people are, it's like, I don't know what it would be
That's
like to
right
starve to
along with
death,
what
but
that
it's
dude was
horrible.
saying on that podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, these people are like, they're just screaming. It reminds me of that horrible stuff like at 9/11 where the people were jumping out of the building because they lost all hope and they knew it was just inevitable. The people that were above where the planes had hit the building. And that's what it reminds me of. These people just dying right in front of you. It's horrible.
And they made a good point on that podcast too. Like, imagine being like, what type of twisted dudes have they recruited to be in law enforcement that you could be a cop and stand in an apartment complex and see people starving to death begging you to let them leave so they can go get food.
Yeah.
And for you to be so evil and power driven that you force people back in their apartments. Like, what kind of person can do that? That's just messed up to me.
I have no idea how that happened. You figure these people are just like people like you or I or something like that. What would it take for you or I to participate in that? You must have some real psychological skewing done by something. Like someone's making you believe you're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that comes to be.
Well, that's like what's that old saying? I think I've shared it before. When everybody's running towards a cliff, if you happen to be the one to stop and turn around and run in the opposite direction, you appear to be the one that's lost his mind.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Probably hard to stand up for yourself in China. Probably a lot of weight coming down on you when you do that.
I imagine so.
I'm glad I'm
But
not in China.
We went down a weird rabbit hole here, Zach.
God bless the USA, brother.
We went from heat to there to talk about Shanghai. So
Hey, what have you done to this show? It's turned like the Joe Rogan podcast, which I think is outstanding. So that's fine. Thank you.
that's right.
I appreciate it.
That's right.
Well, time for bed. Time for bed,
Yeah.
bro.
No doubt. It's after 10 o'clock here. Time for me to go to bed. I got estimates to run tomorrow.
You run your estimates. I've got some overdue sponsor things to mention, and then I'm about to call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, you have fun with that.
I will.
All right. Later,
All right, man. Later. My buddy Justin Beaver right there, and just talking about HVAC and more. And Justin, I just saw your text to me that I didn't see before we got started. It's funny up there. So Thomas and Bimco, yeah, if you want to come on, we'll do that tomorrow because I am going to wrap it up because it's about time for I go inside and I'm getting pretty tired myself. And I might do this at 8:30 tomorrow instead of 9. I'm going to kind of see if that'll work out because it's a little late in the day for me, but I want it to be late enough where you guys can participate no matter where you are. So if it's 8:30, it's still going to run to between 9:30 and 10. So even guys on the West Coast will be able to participate, I hope, with the show, and you can jump on for sure. Like I said, I have a Discord server. If you want to be invited to the Discord server, which I would love to do, I can't remember offhand how to do it, but I will remember. And if you want to email me, I'll send you the invite. hvacshoptalk@gmail.com. This is just for people to discuss, and they can participate on the show just with audio, or you can participate as like a guest. So it's just one of those things that helps you do that. The quality's real good, and it seems like it's a good service to use. So I do need to do our sponsor stuff. So I'm going to run through it real quick, and here we go. And I'll be using the Yellow Jacket Turbo Recovery Machine tomorrow to recover R22 refrigerant to put in a less expensive refrigerant. So that's Yellow Jacket's brand new brushless recovery machine. I do believe that's correct, brushless, and it's Turbo Recover. Brand new on the market, and I will show it on video so you can watch my videos coming up soon, and you'll be able to see how it works. Navac, empowering you to work smarter. They have these two, among other tools that are battery powered. They have the 4CFM, a 2CFM vacuum pump with the NP4 DLM, 4CFM, and NP2 DLM. Both run off their battery platform and give you about an hour of vacuum pump usage where you don't need a cord, although they do have an attachment with a cord if you do want to go with the corded route or your batteries are dead. I do suggest getting 2 batteries, and you can get both of these tools at TrueTechTools.com. And if you do so, you can support this show by using the Shop Talk discount code, TrueTechTools.com. All sorts of HVAC testing equipment. They pretty much got everything you're ever going to need. Company Cam is the only app every contractor needs. Document your jobs, communicate with your crews, cover your company's butt. Just we kind of mentioned it earlier. It's just one of those apps to help business owners and people in a business consolidate some of their media, make sure you have all that data accessible. If you need to talk to a customer, if you need to reference it from somewhere off-site, you have it all in one spot. So go to companycam.com and you can learn more about that. EWC is our zone control sponsor, ewccontrols.com. If you need forced air zoning products, look no further. That sounds really commercial-like. Look no further than ewccontrols.com. Great reliability, excellence without compromise. EWC Controls. But I did that flawlessly. Refrigeration Technologies, refridgetech.com. Coil cleaners. We just talked about not drinking them. That's a horrible story, and we need to pray for this dude because I can't imagine drinking a coil cleaner because more than likely it was some sort of awful condenser coil cleaner that strips the stuff off the fins, and I can't imagine what it'd be like in your body. Refrigeration Technologies, they make great coil cleaners, stuff like that. They make environmentally safe coil cleaners. They make food safe coil cleaners, so they have a whole bunch of different stuff among the other things like Nylog. But our thoughts and prayers with that guy. That's a tough situation. But as far as the products that you can trust, Refrig Tech, you can find out more about them, and you can find those at True Tech Tools as well. So, like I said, I just want to make sure I hit you guys with that. If you want to join the Discord server, I think it's a great idea. It's a great way to interact with the show. I kind of hang out with these guys before the show. It was really fun. And for some reason, I see that Bimco's actually live. He must be playing car soccer ball. I don't know what the game's called, but when all the cars play soccer against each other, he was playing that earlier. I don't know. My kids play it, so I don't have any idea. But I really enjoy you guys dropping by. I really appreciate it. You can support the show by leaving a like. You can join supporters on Subscribestar, which is at subscribestar.com/Zach-Ciota. All the stuff's in the description of the video. Anything you can do to support the show, all the sponsor stuff, links to social media, you can find them there. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll make the event early today so you can see what time it is. And yeah, let's get off to bed. I'll see you guys on the next one. Please consider supporting me at subscribestar.com/Zach-Ciota. I offer my Subscribestar subscribers bonus content podcast as well as giveaways every single month for gift cards.